Well, the number plate looks a lot more improved, and that's ready to go back on. Well, off camera, because I was too lazy to move the tripod, I've polished the front screen. I've degreased it, make sure there's nothing in it, and now I'm going to give it its first coat of Geon Repel, because I bet the wiper blades are next door to useless on this car. Not that I expect it to do much rain enhanced driving, but I'm going to give it 2 coats of this, one now and another one in an hour, and that should be good for the foreseeable future to help protect the windscreen, get rid of the rain. Now, because of the humidity and the heat here today, I'm going to be removing this straight away, which it's supposed to do anyway, but I can see it's already beading. So we just give it a wipe off. I've already done the other side of the windscreen, so I'll come back in an hour and give a second coat. Right then, I'm going to move on now. You've seen the engine bay detailed. I've been over this scuttle panel this morning while the bonnet's open with a fine finish, and got the gloss up to the level of the bonnet. Every time I look, there's a new mark on the car. Right, I'm going to crack on now with the paintwork the other side of the car, and I'm going to get on with it, show you a bit more later. Before I start on the door, I thought I'd give you a good look at it. But firstly, I've taped off all the edges and vulnerable areas on the door, because I'm going to be hitting this with the wall to knock it down. The door, like the other side, has been painted off the car, and at a different time with a different finish, but it's also got lots and lots of abrasions that I'm going to need to remove, and a certain amount of I suppose you'd call it solvent pop. It's not quite solvent pop, but it's left the paint very, very frosty looking, so we want to get that knocked down. So we've got quite a bit of work to do on this door to get it into shape, but like the rest of the car, I'll move along. We did the same with this wing. If you remember, this was just as bad. So I'm going to get on this. I'm going to be hitting it with the wall mop and using Koshchem H9 to mow it down. So I have to leave for an appointment at lunchtime today, so I'm going to try and get as much of this done as I can. So I better get on with it and stop talking. So I'll see you a bit later. Hi. As I showed you previously, I'm on this door trying to match the light finish from the wing through the door to the rear quarter. Now, during its last respray, I can virtually guarantee that these doors were not painted on the car, because the finish of both the doors has been totally different to the rest of the vehicle. Now, the rear quarter on this vehicle does virtually match the finish on the door, but it's very, very frosty. Now, the front wings have either been flatted to death previously or painted better than the rest of the car. Now, to get the light to match this and to get the deep scratch, there are some really deep scratches in this panel, which it doesn't really matter because I've got to take that much off the clear coat to try and match the light. But I started off using Koshchem H9, and although it was doing the job, it was taking multiple sets to make any difference at all. So I've had to step up now to a really heavy cut compound. This is Menzerner 1000, and it's a really heavy cut compound, and basically on a wall pad and using the heavy cut, it's leaving lots of marks from the wall pad in the paint. Now, you can go online and watch loads and loads of two-stage polishing, which on modern cars you can, you know, remove 90% say of the scratches, and then second stage will refine it and bring it back. Unfortunately, when you start going this deep and with such heavy cut paste on a wall pad, I'd have been better off really flattening the car and repolishing it, but I am on a time crunch with this. This car's going to Brooklands Revival in a few weeks, and I haven't really got the time to flat the whole car and repolish it, so I'm having to try and cut down the orange peel, the solvent pop, the heavy scratches as best I can. Now, the wall pad with a heavy duty compound cuts really well. It's still taking quite a long time to cut down the panel, and I'll show you that in a bit. But I just thought I'd give you a quick demo of the wall pad being used, and once I've wiped down, I'm going to remove the camera and show you what I'm left with. And this will mean that this no longer will be, say, a 3-stage polish. This will be at least 4 stages of polishing, because I'll show you the it is damage, but you know, for us it's a means to an end. But I'll show you that when I've just run over this bit again. I won't do a full set because it does take quite a long time, but I'll just do this section and then I'll remove the camera and I'll show you why it will take so many stages of polishing to bring it back up. So that's about half the amount of time that I would normally spend on a set, because I'd try and diminish the polish as much as I could. Because half the problem using a wall mop is that it's going to embed polish into the paint as it's cutting. So I'm going to remove the camera and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, well, you could see, even without me putting a light on yet, how cloudy the paint is. But you can also see the difference that it's starting to make in the shape of the light. Now, obviously this still has to come down some more to match that. So I'm going to be doing multiple sets, but I'm just going to put the light on now and show you what we're left with. That's how it looks when you've had a wall mop with a heavy compound. And this is why we have to multiple stage the polishing, is to we create the damage cutting the deep scratches out and solvent pop and orange peel, but we have to get rid of that damage that we've created. So it makes this side look all right, but it's not. So this is why you can see I've got 3 there, 1 there, and there's another one on my trolley there, that I'll be using to refine this back once I get the orange peel down to the level that I want, and then I'll start refining it back. And of course I'll show you as I go, but as you can imagine, this does add a lot of time onto the job. I don't mind the time. It's the finish that I'm chasing that it's all for. But you know, when you turn your YouTube channels on and you see 2-stage polishing, you wouldn't normally see this depth of cutting, because it's impossible to remove this finish now with 1 more stage of polishing. Well, say it's not impossible, but you'd be there for 3 weeks trying to iron out the damage you've put in. So that's why we've got different grades of compound. So I've been on this now for 2 hours on this section alone, and you know, I've got at least another hour, hour and a half, possibly more, to remove the rest of the defects before I even think about starting to refine it. But the results at the end are what we're aiming for, and I suppose this is why the car came to me, because the owner knows how far I'll go to give him something that he'll be happy with. So there we have it. Something you don't see every week, but I thought I'd show you. If I filmed the whole process, you know, I could be on this door a day and a half, and you just get fed up of watching it. So, you know, I'll just do it in short bursts. So there we have it. Now I've got to get on and get these defects out. So I'll see you later. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Saturday morning. I'm back in the yard, and today I thought I'd give an explanation of what we're doing. Now, this is the side you seen yesterday. I was using a wall mop with an heavy cut compound to cut the mottle down, the orange peel, the scratches, and you're seeing this is how it left it. Now today I've started to refine out some of them marks. Now as you can see by this, I've just done a couple of sets on this side, and I've changed the compound to still a heavy cut compound, but slightly less cut than the other paste. I'm using the same wool head, but with a different compound. And basically what I've done, and I'll just show you here, this is the heavy cut Menzerner compound that I was using. Now if you look here on these bottles, they give you how much cut and how much gloss, and as you can see with the 1000, the cut is far greater than the gloss, and the gloss is on 3, and basically the cut's on about 9 or 10. I've changed to the Koshchem H9, which is an heavy cut compound, as you can see. But when you look at their scale, we've got a 9 on the cutting scale, but a 5 on the gloss scale. Now, the Koshchem, you can work a lot longer and break down the particles far more than you can with this compound. And that's why it starts refining. Don't get me wrong, this is a long way off being the finish, but I still need some cut because I haven't quite got the desired finish that I want for the light. Now you can see the light trail here looks quite clear now, and then I move over here and you can see it still needs some cutting. So that's why I'm still heavy cutting, but with a different compound. Now the second and third stage, the third and fourth stages will refine this more once I've cut it down to the level that I want to get the finish. I can't expect the latter refinement stages to cut out any of the orange peel, so that all has to be done in these first 2 stages. So I hope that explains, you know, why we use the different compounds. You know, you can clearly see that all the trail marks that are left by the really heavy cut paste compared to this second cutting stage. You can see the difference it makes, and then it will go stage after stage, it will get better and better. It does take a long time, especially when you're trying to cut down, you know, a lot of imperfections, say, but it's for the final results that's important. So we just keep cracking on. I'm hoping I can get, I'm only here for 4 hours today, and I'm hoping that I can complete the second cutting stage today, and then Monday I can start the refinement stages. Right, I'll see you when I've got a little bit more to show you. So I'll see you soon. Well, if you remember, I put the light on this wing a couple of days ago or whatever it was, and it was covered in bad scratches, and as you can see by the light, there you go. Now the door is in a lot worse state than the rest of the panels. So you can see the frosty finish and all the scratches. I'll show you more when I get to it, but for today, that's the wing done. I finished the scuttle panel off when I closed the bonnet, and I've just finished this front wing, looking very nice. And I'm going to move on now and start cutting this door back. And they're big doors and they're going to take a bit of work, so let's get at it.